Okay, welcome back to Vegan Bible Essentials. It's been a while since I've made a video, but I'd like to go into Isaiah chapter 34 and 35 and read that to you. And let's talk about some animals in here in these two passages of the Bible, because it's kind of rather interesting. There's the many different animals the Bible discusses and all, and it's kind of in the pretty close to the midway section of the Bible, Isaiah, and that we've gotten past the Old Testament, I believe it is. Not sure about that, but I believe so. But, and then I could be wrong about that. I'm sorry, but anyway, let's go ahead and start reading from there. All right, I'm going to start in Isaiah chapter 34. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right or not. Or Idumea. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Now it's talking about sacrifice here, but it's not of animals. It's of the people. And the unicorns, okay, here it mentions unicorns. I read up on this a little bit, and that's like a wild ox. It's not like a domesticated ox, but it is a wild ox, and there is certain maybe Babylonian images that were carved out or whatever, and pictures or whatever of this from long years and years and years ago. Anyway, they mentioned having some pictures of such an animal, a beast. It was wild and it was ferocious, and it depicted a single horn coming out the head. So that's what they think unicorns were back then. Okay, let me read it, number 7 again. And the unicorn shall come down with him, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. Wow, it's going to be a lot of fire and melting and stuff going on there. It shall not be quenched night nor day, and the smoke thereof shall go up forever, from generation to generation. It shall lie waste, none shall pass through it forever and ever. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, and the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion, and the stones of emptiness. Now we have two words when that's probably, like me, a layperson, you don't understand what maybe these two birds are. They're talking about a cormorant and a bittern. So you're talking like a crane and a pelican. So I think the Comoret is, you know, it's reading from the Bible dictionary like a long-necked bird with wings that swoop down into the waters. And a Comoret and a bittern is such birds, you know, and respectively. And maybe the bittern, the Comoret is maybe like a pelican, and the bittern is like the crane. So, and then it speaks of the owl here, and the raven shall dwell in it. So he's talking about these types of birds that shall go down and dwell in this place here, and it shall stretch up out upon it a line of confusion. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons. So it's got here already, as the term dragons should be jackals. It's got it in here in the King James Version in my Bible. And a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island. So that island, so the wild beasts together shall meet together from the island into the desert here. It must be a junction. And the satyr shall cry to his fellow. Okay, the screech owl also shall rest there and find herself a place to rest. Okay, now we got one word here called satire or satyr, and the Bible dictionary is going to give some kind of Roman mythology definition, but it doesn't pertain. It doesn't exactly pertain in the Bible. Thus, so it pertains to a animal, a creature that actually exists in that time period. So the satyr would be considered like maybe a hairy goat, or he-goat maybe. So if you're thinking about a goat, then that would be a satyr. Okay, all right, go continue on number 15 here. There shall be the great owl. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures. Now, so the vultures here, we got the definition in the Bible, hawks. And it's also got the great owl, the owl snake. Also be gathered every one with her mate. So it kind of puzzles me here in the King James Bible when it's got great owl make her nest, and it's got the letter T right here, and then it's got in small lettering arrow snake. That don't really make much sense to me, but I didn't read up on that, so I don't know what an arrow snake is. It's some type of snake is all I could really tell you about this snake. Okay, continuing number 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. And he hath cast a lot for them, and his hand hath divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever, from generation to generation shall they dwell therein. So that's the end of chapter 34. So then, all right, we'll go ahead and read on to this. Now we got a few more mentioning of animals here in chapter 35. So we'll continue on reading here. Okay, starting in the passage 35. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice, the blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly, and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it. The excellency of Carmel and Sharon, they shall see the glory of the Lord and the excellency of our God. Strengthen ye the weak hands, and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, Be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance. Even God with a recompense, he shall come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. There shall the lame man leap as a hart. Now this hart mentioned here is probably something like a deer. And the tongue of the dumb sing, for in the wilderness shall waters break out in streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. In the habitation of dragons, jackals again, which interchange with the word dragon, where each slay shall be grass with reeds and rushes, it says. And the highway shall be there and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those the wayfaring men. Thou fools shall not err therein. Thou fools shall not err therein. Excuse me. No lion. Okay, it mentions lion here in chapter 35, Isaiah. No lion shall be there, nor any, and it also mentions ravenous beast. The ravenous beast shall not be there either. Beast shall go up thereon, it shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. And the ransom of the Lord shall return and come to Zion. With songs and everlasting joy upon their heads, they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. Okay, I've read chapter 34 and 35, and it mentions certain creatures, and some will have it, not too common, not commonly heard today. Cormorant, maybe, but it's not too often. And the bittern. Now, some explanations for bittern is like porcupine. What I've read, but that definition doesn't fall too good with what it's got in the Bible here, because it's got cormorant, which is a known bird, and it's got the conjunction "and" in there, and the bittern. It's like two things together. So we're talking about, it's more common that it would be talking about two birds, water birds, rather. And the satyr in Greek, I think it's Greek mythology, if I'm not mistaken, there, it mentions something about a satyr, maybe half man, half goat, or whatever, or half horse, or whatever it is, and may possibly being hairy, and but the satyr is more or less like a goat, in other words. It couldn't mean anything. They're talking about dragons and unicorns and such things, but it gives the definition of the dragon being a jackal, which kind of like I think that's like a wild dog of sorts. Okay, and the unicorn being a wild ox. That's it's not domesticated type ox or animal that's raised or anything like that. And it talks of lambs and goats and such things and rams, but anyway, all in all, the Lord is talking and about what he's going to do to the people here. And their habitation is going to be filled with all these animals. Talking about vultures and such things in here. So, as far as animals go, we need to kind of think about becoming vegan. Hell, it's for the animals, okay? And it's not only for the animals, it's for the health of people. You know, if man were to take and farm the land rather than raise the animals, which are consuming so much grain and stuff like that, and this grain that the animals are consuming, and the water they're consuming, and what it's taking to make like 1 pound, so much water to make like 1 pound of meat or beef or whatever, that water could go towards watering crops and stuff like that, and also all the water could go to the people that need it, in certain lands and stuff like that, and also the grains and stuff that are being fed to the animals and stuff could also feed a whole host of people. So we need to consider that and think about that, you know, because it's in reality it's true, you know, and animals are making a large amount of poop. They're making so much waste in urine and poop and stuff like that it gets to the point that what are we going to do with it? It will contaminate. And what man is giving the animals is like antibiotics, growth hormones, and such things to make them bigger and stronger. And he's giving it to the chickens. The original chicken wasn't that big at all. And they're giving it such, and today with such breeding and growth hormones and such things, the chicken has went from this to this, you know, big, big, big. And it's just, man is consuming that. And what is it doing, all these chemicals and stuff inside the human body? And maybe one day I'll make a video and maybe we can go across, discuss some of those things and how it's affecting the human health. And, you know, for a fact, it is. It is. Meat's been linked to cancer and such things, processed meat and such things, and it's just not healthy for you at all. And whatever the animal consuming on the grain is going, and man is spraying pesticides on the grain and stuff, and whatever he's feeding to the animals. So there you go. We just, you know, the animal consuming that, it's going into the blood vessels of the animal and then into the body parts, the muscles and such. And man is consuming that. So, and not only that, in the water, as I speak of fish and mercury and such things in the water and pollutants, that man is consuming that also. So we need to really think about going vegan to get away from all that. So that's a good thing. So I hope you enjoyed me discussing the animals of the Bible today and talking a little bit about health and being vegan. And maybe next time we'll get together on this again. Thank you so much for listening to me, and forgive me for stumbling on my words some here and trying to pronounce certain things. Thank you so very much until next time, and thank you for listening to Vegan Bible Essentials. Thank you, and bye-bye.